Good afternoon. It's June 21st, 2022, and here's what we're looking at for today. Eventually, we hit the measured move of the overnight highs and lows. You could see we came up a little short right here, and then we found support right here, which is basically we broke above this price level and came back, found support there, and bounced and made two legs up. And eventually we made that measured move. So it was really quiet after this move up and this leg of correction. It was pretty choppy, and I don't really see anything great in here from 9 o'clock on. So let's take a look at this. I don't think it's going to take too long. I viewed the overnight move up as a continuation of the price action from yesterday. So we get a break and move to a new high, and then we get this leg of correction, which actually was like 3 hours long. So there was some reason to pay attention to it. We come here and we have a second entry short, but it just doesn't set up. It looks like it's one leg up. So you might have taken that, but on this chart, it doesn't look too good. I was watching it on the MES, and on the MES, it set up pretty well. But here, it does not set up very well. And you can see it gives you enough for a scalp, but then it bounces. And that's right at the overnight midline, too, the midline of the overnight highs and lows. So there's reasons to not take that. Plenty of reasons not to take that. Here's how I saw this channel. Shortly after the open, we have this congestion, and then it just starts moving up. And unfortunately, I think the failure happens right here. So, I mean, maybe since this is the failure, you might consider that, but that's so congested at that point, and you don't have this trend channel yet. Even if you draw it, well, let's say you draw it like that, then you would have it, but that's a stretch. So prices keep moving up, and we move into this flatter channel, and we broke above the overnight high. So it did feel like an uptrend, especially since we were trending up in the overnight. At this point, it did feel like an uptrend. And you get this second entry right here, but you could see some people who took that, they just jumped in too early. So I looked at this as the second entry, and it confirms that flatter channel. So I like that entry. And you can see other people did too. And we make this move up, form this level of support, come up here, and you get a first entry, second entry right here. And if you don't like that, you get this, this is like a quadruple test right here, and it's also a second entry long. So I like that, and it's also a trend channel. So I definitely like that one. New low, or count resets, I should say, because this is basically a quadruple bottom or whatever. First entry, failed second entry. Unfortunately, it doesn't tick higher right here. So you'd have to go long above this, and it doesn't look too great after this. However, it would be a second entry long at that point. So I think you might want to take that, especially because this channel, we hit the highs still. So we're still moving up. And if you don't like that, you get a failure right here. I mean, if you look at this as a new low, you get a failure right here. But technically, it's not a new low, so. And then we're just moving sideways, and we come short of that measured move of the overnight highs and lows. You do get a first failed second entry long, so if you are confident in going short there, you might want to do that. And you get this lower high right here that's also a second entry short, but it's just a doji, and at that point that's like 4 inside bars. Actually, this is even an inside bar. So even that should probably be green, but it just looks good. Here you get kind of this looks like a double bottom, first entry, second entry, and really you probably would have had that channel a little steeper. Probably would have had it like that. So that looks pretty good to me as a second entry, and it even looks like a little bit like this, even though that's a first entry short. So you get that. This is a failure too, but I'm not too crazy about that one. That far from the EMA, and then we're just chopping with the downward bias. But then we find support at this level. As stated earlier, it bounces. You get this failure. So you might consider that, but I don't like how large that bar is. So maybe you enter on wait for it to break higher, enter on limit order, and once you get this bar, you might be able to do that. And look, it comes within 1 tick of stopping those people out, though. I just don't like it when this looks congested, but it also is just so far from the EMA. So we move up, and this kind of looked like a channel, but then this looked like a channel too. In the end, I think I marked this trade right here because of this channel, but in the end, I think we just had this channel break, move to a new high. So you get this second entry long, and to me, that looked like the shorts weren't able to take it lower. So I thought that looked good enough for a scalp. But, you know, look, this is a spike and channel up, and we get the break and a move to a new high. So that's aggressive. And come down here. You get a second entry, but it doesn't look too good. It's not off the trend channel. Comes close, but if you drew it off, yeah, that is actually off the trend channel. So the signal bar is not great. You're going into the midline of what might be a range. You probably wouldn't have known by then. But I mean, you would have known that prices are back and forth on both sides of the EMA. So anyway, that's a nice move down. But you can see, look at all this congestion here. It breaks lower. If we draw the congestion, you can see it breaks lower. Here, fails, come back up. And we make a sharp move up to hit that measured move, and then it just reverses. This is actually a second entry short. So people, oof. It looks like, I don't know because I wasn't watching this live, but people who went short here might have gotten trapped and went too early. I wonder, but that's pretty congestive, so I'm not sure you would want to take that anyway. After the fact, it's clear that it's a channel down, but in real time, you might be looking at that as going into the lows of this range. And that pretty much brings us to the close, and that's what I saw for today. So I hope everyone had a good day, and I will be back tomorrow.